All right, everybody. We're live, and for some reason, I just lost your camera, J Dash. I don't know what I clicked, but I'm going to add you in here on the fly here because I probably screwed something up. Oh, push live. There we go. Hey, there you are. Now we're good. We have some sad news. I'm sure you're all aware. The XFL has suspended its season due to the coronavirus. We have the statement here on the screen. We have J Dash from the XFL Newsroom Unhinged podcast. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. Hopefully we are doing much better in days to come.
You know, let me do the thing that I knew I should have done before we started this off here and mute you on my other computer because I'm sure the fans at home heard that, but let's see. Talk for me again. This is how we roll. We're going with it today.
Well, seeing that our beloved league can't,
it's the best, I think, in my opinion. So hopefully, right now, doing all right. Hopefully, everyone's
it's getting a lot better for the days to come. So,
Okay, I'm still getting there. We're gonna figure this out. And again, I apologize everybody for the delay and for all of this. J Dash, do me a favor, sign me up on one more comment, and let's see if we got some wicked delay going on here.
wicked delays suck, just like all the sporting events are happening as of right now.
Okay, so I have a little bit, but I think I can power through it. Let's go to the chat here. Hey, does everyone hear J Dash well? Oh, it's just one of those days. When it rains, it pours. You know what they say, man. So you, honestly, you were probably the first person on Twitter to call this, and people gave you a hard time about it. But where credit's due, you were there. Shoot, at least an hour and a half before anyone else.
I was actually 2.5 hours ahead. But I'm not taking credit for it. It's just that I have friends who work at Florida State University, and they have connections with other teams in professional sports. And the word just came down to me, and I had to say it. It's yeah, and I really hate when I tweeted that out. I really hated that I got backlash by these so-called people asking for my sources. Well, it's official now, so. I was just doing it to inform people. So this is not the time for us to start attacking each other. This is our time to unite with each other and come together, because to defeat this, we all have to come together. So I don't like how people are getting attacked, especially the people who have been, powering this league, like with this show, for the last 2 years, and it's not a time to start, just try and get your Twitter followers up. But yes, too. Plus I announced about the ACC canceling all operations about an hour before. Actually, no, it was about 4 hours before the actual event. It got no credit for it. But I'm not looking for credit. I'm just trying to inform people from what I know from my connections with Florida State University and their connections with other sports leagues around the country. So this is odd times, man. There's no sports until maybe June, and it's crazy. It's really crazy.
This is nuts, right? The last time I can remember it being this crazy as far as sports and just the public sentiment, if you will, was 9/11. And this is even, like, you remember back at 9/11, again, the circumstances were different, right? But that SmackDown, I believe, was the first live event. That's why I kind of held a little bit of hope. If anybody was going to do it, if anyone was going to try to continue this on, it's Vince McMahon. But ultimately, they had to make the decision they had to make. Sooner or later, unless they could have secured a single location that they could do this at with no fans, it would have been impossible anyway. L.A., granted, they didn't have a home game for 2 weeks, but Dignity Health said, look, there's no events going on.
But one thing that you have to look at it this way. What the XFL did, what the NHL's done, what the NBA has done, and all the people who are attacking Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz right now, yes, what he did was stupid, but you look at the fine line. He could have just saved millions of lives for what he did. because that woke up the NBA, that woke up the NFL. The NFL hasn't said shit yet, which is surprised. Is woke up every single major league, NCAA. So yeah, the games are canceled this weekend, but it's a betterment for our society. It's a betterment for the human population that these mass gatherings could have spread this virus tenfold, and now that all these mass gatherings are getting discontinued, that helps the experts in this field, in the CDC, the World Health Organization, our hospitals, our health system, to attack these individual cases around the country instead of having mass and total outbreaks. So when people get mad that the season's over, yes, it sucks, but you got to look at the bigger picture. And there's already been a statement by Oliver Luck that we will be back in 21. So, yes, the only thing we got to do is, we got to push forward. And the negativity towards people right now about he's the one, he spread it, he should be banned. Well, Ruby Gobert, even though that what he did was stupid, gave a massive, woke up a lot of people around the United States that I think we've just basically stepped ahead of this, and I'm sure that we're going to be banning all travel out of the country pretty soon. So
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
this is serious, and people are saying, "Oh, this is the common flu." They don't shut down entire civilizations for the common flu. So
yeah, I know. Every time I hear that, it's just a flu, bro. In non-ironic manner. Like, again, we don't know if this is going to be the biggest thing in the world. We don't know if it's going to be a dud. But you know what? It's better to be precautious because you look at, I don't want to get into the politics of it. That's the one thing that drives me nuts is everybody trying to politicize this. But at least we are taking the steps as a nation to shut some of these things down, right? Everybody kind of fell in line, canceled the events. Think if the XFL didn't cancel, and next week we find out, 3 of the players or 10 of the players contracted the virus. That's the worst PR you could get, They say I posted this on Twitter last night. They say, may you live in interesting times. At least we have that going for us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me. When we look at the AAF last year, that was a first for me, is the league not finishing the season. To think that the XFL played less games, but was arguably a much larger success, it's still kind of crazy to me. I waited until the last possible moment to call it because I didn't want it to be true. And to be honest, I've heard shit, man. Excuse my language, but it's just one of those kind of days, folks. I'm sorry, but I had numerous phone calls with different people, and everything ranged from the leagues trying to play in empty stadiums, trying to find a central location, all the way to the season canceled, but all the way to only 1 week's canceled. They're doing that on a week-to-week basis. But when you look at their statement, again, there is some wiggle room there to maybe see the playoffs. Maybe. They did word it in a way to say, look, the regular season is canceled. I wouldn't hold out hope. To me, if it happens, that's a bonus. That's good. We got extra games that I didn't expect now. And I think that's how everybody should look at it. I don't think they should expect to see the playoffs. But if it happens, it happens. And honestly, if it happens, we may not see crowds at the games anyway. We don't know what it's going to look like in a month. But at bare minimum, we can say that I can confidently say that the league is going to be around in 2021. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I think that's clear.
Yeah.
Because what has been put forth in front of us is something that was we couldn't predict this. The financial backing's there, but when you have events all over the country, just not sporting events, getting canceled, it's telling you as an individual and as a society, we're getting our shit together now. This ain't serious. This is very serious, and the quicker we got ahead of it, try and get politics aside. Everyone's jumping ahead of this, and yes, 2021 is going to start a new year. My buddy just showed me a post just now. Walt Disney has confirmed that all theme parks in the United States, is that the whole world or is that just the United States? Or is that was just Disneyland, Disney World?
Yeah, I think it's just the states. Well, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt if
Oh, so
everything's been shut down.
Disney World has been shut down.
Yeah.
Here in Orlando. Yeah, so this is a big deal, and if you joke around that this is not a big deal, then what the hell have you been doing? I know social media is so negative right now every time you're going through it, but this is a time that in 5 years we'll look back at and go, you know what? It's good that we over-panicked and overhyped this because it saved millions of lives. That's the only goal right now. And if you're religious, pray. If you're believing the scientists, go ahead. But right now, from what I've heard and read, we know what it is. We know the virus is strand. In a lot of diseases in our history, we know, like AIDS, for instance, 1981, AIDS was discovered. It was only 3 years after that we discovered the actual disease itself, or the strand, which was HIV. We know what this strand is. We haven't identified. And it's just not us working on the cure. It's the whole fucking world.
For sure,
So,
yeah. This is the one moment in time. You know, it's funny, right? There's so much negativity online, and that's always going to be there. It's the internet. Everybody has an opinion and this and that and whatever. But this is the one time, at least that I can remember in my lifetime, where the whole world is united on at least one thing. Again, everybody's trying to politicize it and make an argument one way or another, but in all reality, the governments, the doctors, the scientists, you know what they want to figure out? How to get rid of this damn thing. That's a good thing.
And the thing is, there are some reports, I don't know if it's confirmed, but in Australia, they're about to do human testing on the first antibodies for this disease. And that could be, 100% accurate, and that could be, someone just trying to post information out there. But that's a little bit of positive news. Like, no matter, I don't know what's like at you in Houston, but here in Jacksonville, we have 3 confirmed cases, but it's in the surrounding counties.
Mm-hmm.
I know California's getting hit big. I know Seattle is a big risk as well. But one thing I want to tell people to I know being overhyping this or making a big deal is, scaring a lot of people, but you got to realize that our health system here is so much better than 50 years ago or 100 years ago with the plague and other mass diseases that killed millions. So if you do your part, like I said on my Twitter live stream earlier today, do your part. Wash your hands. Wash your clothes. Be considerate. Cover your mouth. Do everything yourself that can prevent the spread of it, because you may actually save lives. And if you look at some of the scientists, some people already have the disease and have no symptoms because they're carriers. They're not going to get affected by it. So if you don't know if you're a carrier or not, or are affected or not. So do your part of cleaning everything. Wash your clothes. And make sure you have clean hands. Wash your hands multiple times a day, and that will help fight this. And people are bitching about all these sports leagues getting canceled, but you have to look at the bigger picture. These sports leagues that we love, we're going to go 2 months without sports probably, maybe a little longer than that. But that 2 months and that 3 months without sports just saved millions of lives.
Even if it saves one life, it's worth it. Right? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know anything about this thing, really. It could be a nothing burger. It could be the biggest thing we've ever seen. But, again, going back to it's just a flu thing, we have, 2 months of data at most on this, and probably half of it is lies. I'm just going to say that. Half of what we know is probably fluffed up in one direction or another. It's going to take at least a year for us to really understand this. Now, the benefit is, since this is at least officially a pandemic, you're going to see things move faster than we've seen before. We've heard doctors come out and say, well, it's probably going to take a year and a half after testing and rolling it out to different markets. Well, with diseases like this, those steps get skipped, right? It will be fast-tracked, pending we find some type of cure, or this just goes away naturally, right?
But one thing I find, I don't know if the numbers are completely accurate, but if you're under the age of 40, your risk of passing away from this disease is extremely, extremely low.
Yeah.
But if you're over the age of 80 and have complications, other health issues, your risk is much greater. So right now, what from the early stats that they have of this disease, from all the reports we've been having, is that the elderly and the ones who have serious health conditions are more at risk than maybe me or you that are just under age 40. And crap, I haven't been sick in almost 5 years, not even with a cold. Yeah, I have migraines, but hey, that's migraines. I have stressful life. But me, I have a lot slighter chance than my mother. My mother is on the breathing machine, so she has more of a risk. So every time if I'm gonna be around her, I'll make sure I'm gonna be washing my hands, cleaning myself every time I'm around her. So it's just not the arrogance of people like, oh, it won't hurt me. It's not about you. It's also about your friends, your family, and the random strangers you see outside when you're going to the gas station, the grocery store, or your job. You gotta be considerate of them too, because you don't know. And what the United States has done and what other countries have done to get ahead of this is a big, big plus. That, remember, like we said earlier, the whole fucking world knows about this. This is just not one country fighting it. And China China knew about it a year ago or a couple months ago, and they should have asked for help then and could have eradicated it before it got major. Mm-hmm. Now it's spread around the country or the world. Now that everyone's on top of it, it may be 2 to 3 months till they find something, and it also may be a year, and also it may go away because your immune system's strong enough because you're not sick or you live a healthy lifestyle. So what I said on my live stream earlier today on Twitter, wash your clothes, wash your hands, cook your food all the way through, make sure everything is killed, bacteria is killed, and live day-to-day life and help other people as well. Don't be a victim to the fear of this. If you do that, it's going to tear you up inside, and depression and anxiety kill more people in the United States than this virus has so far. And that's just based on actual numbers. So if you're depressed, talk to somebody. If you have anxiety, talk to somebody. There's so much that we can do as a society to help the pain go away from this and to avoid the actual main crisis, which is this virus. But I just don't like how our national media and the media with the XFL right now is saying, like, oh, this league is why are we suspending the games? We should play here. No. What the league is doing is exactly what everyone should be doing right now. And I don't care if you're pro XFL or anti XFL or NFL or NHL. They're doing the right thing right now. So I only basically because of this statement about how the league canceled sucks. Yes, we don't have football for 5 weeks. We also don't have baseball. We also don't have soccer. We also don't have any sports. We're going to be in a dead period for a couple months or 2 months, maybe a little longer than that. What do you think about ESPN? What do you think about all these news networks that their main job is sports? That's it. They're going to be just showing replays.
Yeah.
But that it makes us as a society got to realize, like, yeah, we love sports. Sports is our thing, but we got to realize family and life is a lot more important than what happens on the football field or baseball diamond or court. So
for sure, yeah, it's still surreal to me. Again, I don't think the playoffs are going to happen, just especially from the player reactions. The way that they were talking, it sounded like they understood that everything was done for the season, which, as a Roughnecks fan, that's a real bummer for those guys. And a lot of these guys in the league that really took a chance on the XFL, and due to this, it's not the XFL's fault, it's not their fault. It's something they had to do, but this is just unfortunate for everybody. So the fans being upset, that's one thing, but the people you should really feel bad for is the players. The people that were out there playing this game. The guys, the PJ Walkers, you got to think, some of these guys we're not going to see next year. These guys are going to get picked up. We might not see Cam Phillips, PJ Walker next year. We might not see Big Game Bob next year. Right? So it's crazy. It's crazy just to think about it all happening. I'm curious to see so many things, so many announcements. Again, I expect, like you said, 2 months probably at minimum before we start seeing some of these guys go back and play some of these games. I'm amazed. So you saw the WrestleMania is still on, though, right?
Yeah, that's definitely going to be canceled or at least postponed.
That one, of all of these events, it seems to me like the one that should happen. I know there might be some people watching this saying no, but That is an event where there's people coming from all over the world
Yeah.
to come to that, right? Not to mention that people
It's
from
literally
Europe
the
can't
biggest.
come.
It's literally the biggest sporting event in the world.
It's I was amazed when it announced that it was still going on earlier, but again, do not be surprised, folks, if that changed. Same with NASCAR, same with PGA. I would not doubt if those things maybe this weekend, but if this start keeps ramping up, there's no way. Everybody's got to do it.
Yeah. For what? Like I think a lot of the British leagues are now following suit. So, it's you want to be positive about this and you want to see results, but you got to follow the guidelines. If you feel sick, if you feel like you're getting a fever, stay in your house. Do not leave. Call the doctor. They'll send somebody to you to test you. I've heard, or they'll come check you and you do all your temperatures and all. They're literally telling people to not leave their apartment if they have it or their house. If you're sick, I don't care if you have the common cold, don't go out because that's just spreading the virus. So just stay home and relax.
I'll tell you this.
I saw a tweet earlier today that all the streaming services should give free subscriptions for the next couple of months because of this, so people have entertainment
for sure
to watch.
I was just about to say, Netflix, Hulu, and Disney Plus are about to have record numbers. People are going to be, with no sports and, in theory, a significant amount of the population, not just in the United States, but around the world, is going to be either staying at home or working from home. There's a significant group. Not everybody, and not everybody can, right? And for all we know, it might get to the point where some businesses start paying their workers and say, look, we're taking the week off. We're going to reimburse you, whether it be from the government or however that works. It might get to that situation, which is another thing I want to bring up. And again, I don't think you should go to the store and buy up every toilet paper roll, but I think you should be prepared to a certain extent. If you don't have anything in your cabinet that is good for maybe a few months, it might be worth it to go to the store and pick up some canned tuna, some beans, some things. Now, again, for us to get to the point where there's no electricity and no water, I'll be hard-pressed to think that we're going to get to that point. And again, I'm going to knock on wood. You never know. I don't think it's going to get there. But if things do get bad for the next couple months and the supply chain runs low and then they start sending workers home and they're not making more supplies, you might want to be able to wipe your ass. That's all I'm saying. I got lucky last week. I was just at Walmart on a beer run, and I walked by the toilet paper aisle, and I saw no toilet paper except for 2 packages. And I said, I think I'm going to pick these up. I think I'm just going to play this safe because I'm guessing that there's either not going to be any here, or if there are, it's going to be just the really crappy stuff that you don't want. And sure as shit, I went there yesterday just to kind of pick up some goods, and there's no toilet paper. There's no paper towel. There's no paper plates, which, again, those things you can live without. Toilet paper you kind of want. But canned tuna, no canned tuna. Soups, funny enough, this is Texas. No, all the low-sodium soup was there, but none of the regular soup. And if you're fine with vegetarian food, at least in Texas, there's plenty of that. But, as far as like chicken breasts, they were tiny. All the good stuff was picked over. Again, I don't want to send people into a panic, but it might be smart to prepare for like 2 weeks. If you want to and worst case scenario, if you buy reusable goods like toilet paper or paper towel or, chicken breast meats that you can freeze or bread, then at least you're set up. I wouldn't go buy out the whole store. Don't panic. But if you have the opportunity or you're able to, it might be a good idea because, although it's not as effective on people under 40, if you do have any other prior health problems, it could come into play. And again, I don't want to send people into a panic. I think ultimately, and J-Dash, you said this on your stream on Twitter earlier, we're human beings. Humanity has overcome every obstacle that has been thrown at us. And this is just one of those obstacles. To me, we're much more likely to be killed off from an asteroid hitting us from space than something like the coronavirus. It is going to impact, it has impacted our economy. It's a shame. The good news is we're still above where we were. But I don't know if you have a 401k. I made the mistake of looking at mine the other day, and I wish I did not. It is, it's a very unfortunate time, but everything will rebound. Everything will come back. This is human beings, America especially. I think we've already put some steps in place, and if it comes to it, we will ban everything. People aren't going to like it.
Honestly, my prediction is that in a week or 2 or 2 week time, you'll start seeing the cases. I think will rise tremendously
just because the testing is going to become more available. But yeah.
But I believe that it's not going to be like what they're really predicting. I still feel confident that our health system and our ability for the average American to go to a doctor and actually get treatment for their symptoms, because what we're finding out is that a lot of these people who are suffering or in critical condition of this illness are people with lung or breathing problems or have past severe conditions, and the only thing they're doing is giving them treatment for their symptoms. But like what you said, what you mentioned about the stream I did earlier today, that's all. We're humans. We need to put our differences aside. I don't care if you're lean left or lean right, or you're Arsenal or Man City, or for this case, if I'm a Seminole and my buddy's a Gator fan, put our differences aside. This is not the time to hate each other. But I do know one thing. You can go follow this. The people who are watching this on live stream right now, I don't know how many is watching. Hopefully there's a few. Go check at UF Health on Twitter. The professor there at University of Florida, they have found some combinations of compounds that are signs of stopping the virus attacking healthy cells, and they discovered it, I think, within the last couple of days. So that's some positive sign, and that just tells you that our health organization has been ahead of this, or especially in the United States. And I know I have a family member who works in the ER here, not here in town, but down south. He's working about 75 hours this week alone. All the people who are in the health system, if you know anybody who works in the health system, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be working a lot of hours, and there's a main reason why. So to the first responders out there, if you're out there on the road driving around, you see a rescue or a fire truck, get the hell out of the way. This is not the time to use your fucking ego, because your ego could cost someone's life. So I just look at it this way. We're humans, like I said. We come together, we defeat shit. That's how a society is. And I'm going to tell you right now, to all the people out there on Twitter have acted all big and bad over the last couple of weeks that this virus ain't shit, and now they're all becoming panic and being wimps on Twitter. Don't turn face now. I thought you were the badass. Now you're the type of person that our society needs to look up to, that strong person, but you're now fading. I don't like people who have alter egos on Twitter like that. Especially the people who are spreading false news, false numbers. Please don't, because there's no official reports yet until the CDC or the World Health Organization reports it, or the President of the United States says something about it. Because one thing that really irritates me is what the President says, and you got CNN counteracting what he says, saying fake news. It's the President of the fucking United States. He will know it first before the nation does. So don't think CNN. Honestly, in my honest opinion, I really do think the media around our nation, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all of them have done a very poor job on this. I really do believe so, because how they reported it and how they're pushing their agenda politically is really pissing me off in this time. And honestly, as a nation, damn, that fucking cat stinks, man. Oh shit, man. God, excuse my language.
No, you're good. Damn, it's one of those days, folks. If you didn't expect some kind of cursing, at least this wasn't the kind of cursing you would have expected, right? I'll take it. This is... Oh,
my
man.
God! I'm not going to die of the coronavirus. I'm going to die from cat shit, man.
Hey,
Holy!
so we have something in the chat here. So Yo Bro MMO just posted. The XFL has advised players they can sign immediately with teams in the NFL or any other league once their exit physicals are complete, starting tomorrow.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So that's it. Then that's pretty much there's no playoffs then.
Yeah. So the NFL hasn't made officially an official announcement yet. So, but I do believe that they are soon to follow on.
Yeah, it's with that. Man. All right. Now it's like real. Again, I kind of knew it wasn't happening, but man, this is such you and I and Tron and there's a select other group of people that have been doing this forever, right? Forever, and this sucks. The cool thing I'll say this: without the XFL even happening, there's so many people I wouldn't have met. We had a great tailgate group in Houston, the Nuff Said tailgate group. I'm looking forward to going and seeing some Texans games with them, pending those happen. I met you, I met Tron, I met, our good old friend XFL delivery guy, all the podcasts that joined XFL Newsroom, Carlos. There's a lot of cool people we met along the way. The league is going to be around next season. Me personally, I'm probably going to take a couple weeks off. I'm not going to post on a weekly basis with my show, at least unless something big comes up. I was going to wait for the end of the season for that to happen, but it kind of seems like that came prematurely. I got to know your thoughts on this, though. So we're at week 5. Season's over. If the players are able to sign with other teams, it's pretty much confirmed almost, everything but officially, that the playoffs aren't happening. Do you think they crown a champion?
No.
Now let me ask you this. Do you think they at least do MVPs, Coach of the Year, things like that?
I think they may do player awards, but not an actual champion. Even though Houston is undefeated,
Yep.
I just don't think they'll do that. Honestly, but what I know, all these conference tournaments have basically crowned their regular season champions as tournament champions, and anything's possible. But of course, that's college, and if they do, Houston will be declared the champion of 2020. But that's almost like saying the Orlando Apollos.
I know. I don't want it. I'll take it, but I don't want it. It's one of those. I just feel for the players, right?
Correct.
There's so many dudes, whether it be the Roughnecks, the Wildcats, even the Vipers. And there's so many guys out there, and there's so many story arcs that we never got to finish. Matt McGloin. I'm not going to use your nickname for him because of what is going on right now, but we never got to finish the Matt McGloin story arc. Where did Quentin Flowers want to go? Would he stay? Would he be traded? There's so many things would Winston Moss prove himself and get into the playoffs? So many storylines. Although it's not scripted, the XFL was really good at least positioning itself in a way to where stories just naturally happen. I'm going to miss on the weekends seeing a random player come off the field, not knowing what he's going to say, and feeling like the guy in the back is mad at himself for missing the bleep button by half a second. There's so many changes that are going to happen next year because of the things they learned this year. And it's going to be fun and all, but I guarantee you there's not going to be nearly as many F-bombs on the sideline. There's going to be a mandate that goes out to the players, the reporters, and even the people in the back room saying, watch out for this. We're never going to see these champions. St. Louis was close to selling out the damn dome. And we'll never get to see that. Maybe
Yeah.
next year, but oh no! I'm just keeping it real, folks. I don't even, again, it's a Bud Light kind of night. We're having fun. I'm getting a little sauced up.
It's not a Bud Light kind of night. Tonight is a malt liquor, hard liquor, tequila, straight shooters. You're not freaking chasing that bitch.
I might start drinking. I do have a nice bottle of Maker's Mark sitting for me in the other room. I knew if I started hitting the sauce early, this stream would never happen.
That's very true.
Tonight, pour one out for our homies. It's been a rough one.
Yeah.
I really don't know what else to talk about. Do you have any thoughts?
Really? We'll try and keep you guys updated. May do a couple things here. But honestly, we are now being put on hold. There's nothing to get unhinged about. There's nothing to really talk about. Right now, it's, fight on. Do what you can do. Be with your family. Be with your friends. Be with people that you love. And communicate with your friends and family. Honestly, because if you know where your parents were at, or if you know where your friends were at, you can see where you can see where the stages of this event is and where not to go, where to go. Because knowing what they've been at can help you. But first off, family is the most important. If you're religious, do what you have to do. Pray to whoever you pray. If you think this is all about politics, you're dead wrong. But right now, for us as a society, we need to move forward. But for anybody out there that has the Madden game, I know this is just a little trade switch of a subject. Be positive. You can download the XFL mod, and it's only on PC. Well, damn.
Yeah, it's only on PC.
But you can get the XFL mod, and you can finish the season that way.
Somebody just asked about that in the chat. Honestly, I think I might do that. I might play out the rest of the season. Maybe I'll simulate it because I do suck at Madden. So I'll just I'm not gonna lie. I'm decent at Tecmo, but Madden. Maybe I'll simulate it.
I'm actually really good at Madden, but if you get me in like a 3rd and 14 and you're on offense, you just run the bubble screen and your guy is gone. For some reason, it's like my relationships, man. I'm like, I live dangerously. Oh, you going 5 wide? I'm going gauge 8. I'm blitzing the hell out of you. And there's a screen, and there goes freaking Adrian Peterson right down the field, untouched. Or sometimes I tackle him on the 1 yard line, but what the fuck? The next play you run it in, anyways. That's how stupid Madden is. But if you have gaming, for instance. Gaming systems, no matter what, you have your laptop, your Xbox, wherever you have, go get some Lysol. Disinfect the fuck out of it. At least you know your keyboard won't be affected.
And your phone.
Exactly.
Your phone. This is the dirtiest thing around you, probably. This thing, I don't even want to touch it now.
Yeah, so that's that. For honestly, being positive about this, live your life. If it happens, it happens. And from reports I've read and from other people I've seen, they're saying that this has been around since December. So I won't be surprised if you either you had a cold or I had a cold or my buddy had a cold a couple weeks ago and all of a sudden his symptoms go away. You may have the coronavirus and your immune system is strong enough that it defeated it.
For sure. And that's a possibility.
And if you look at all the stats right now that have been out, there's still right now it's out of the confirmed cases about 70,000 people have fully recovered from it, and of course you have people that did pass away from it, which is tragic. But you have to realize death happens every single day in this country from cars, shootings, other health reasons, diabetes, depression, anxiety. If we live ourselves in extreme fear that is happening right now, you're going to kill yourself within yourself than actually, going out there and doing something that can fight this cause. And I think that is what we need to do as a society is step forward, fight this cause, because as a society, if we come together and pull our differences aside, we kick a lot of ass. 9/11, for example, World War II, for example, World War I, the bubonic plague, SARS. There's been a lot of things in our history as a society that when shit hit the fan, we came together. And for the people out there that are saying that billions of people are going to die from this virus, first things first. Yes, I know China may be lying about their numbers, but South Korea is our ally, and they have reached what they said that they've reached the peak of contamination, and they've got ahead of it too. So there is. I'm not saying there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just know that I'm very positive in our health industry. I'm very positive in our workforce that's in this. University of Florida found a compound earlier today. Australia is getting very close to do human trials. Every single nationality out there, country out there, is working on this. It's just not the United States doing this. So I'm very positive that the humans, us people, us Earthlings, will unite as one, and we'll kick this son of a bitch out of the park. And maybe they find a cure for both coronavirus and the flu. Maybe because usually, I know this is a sidetrack. I remember watching the documentary. A guy they were trying to find a cure for a certain cancer, and they're still trying to find it. But during finding that cure, they found a vaccine to cure not smallpox. What's that smallpox disease that just arrived a couple years ago, then vanished?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I forgot what
one of these nights.
I can research it, but they were trying to cure, I think it was prostate cancer, like a vaccine for it, and then they found a vaccine of this disease that was, I think, in Asia or somewhere in Asia, and that disease is completely gone. So now that the whole world is united, I'm very confident. So honestly, it's getting late, and we can ramble on for another hour of this, but I'm going to just tell you, the fans that have supported us, have supported me coming on here and talking, rambling like this. It's be with your family, be with your friends. If you are sick, do yourself a favor, stay home. Don't go out and be like you're strong enough to be a macho man about this, or macho woman. No, don't want to be, gender fluid here. I gotta get both sides. But wash your hands constantly. If you touch your face like I just did, wash your fucking face. There are steps that you can take care of right now that will stop the spreading of this. I don't care if it's in your apartment or your house, your car, or at work. But as a society, we must come together, and I think we're starting to see that. People are putting their differences aside, and but there's a question that the local radio station here, one of our guys here in the local radio station says, has anyone that is addicted to heroin or cocaine have the coronavirus? And he said, just asking for a friend. Then he went hashtag not asking, really depending on the career change at this moment. And I started laughing. So it was a good joke, but honestly, it's, I think, February 2021 countdown. But I guarantee you, I'm going to just get early prediction right here. We can come back to this hopefully in a couple months and say, man, you're right. I believe in 2021, when we relaunch this damn thing, we'll have more than 10 games because of what happened this year. I think the season would be extended. I won't be surprised if they add more teams next year because of what happened right now. So besides from that, live well, people. Fight. Don't give up. Stay positive, because you get depressed and anxiety hits, you're losing the battle. Stay positive with this. We can beat this. We've done it before. So, yeah, I have nothing else to say. I can ramble on for another hour. So
no worries, man. Well, it's been real. A very solemn day. Unfortunate news, but it's something that had to happen. J-Dash, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me for, over a year now we've been doing these stupid live streams. Since the coaches were being announced, we were doing live streams. So definitely over a year at this point. Like I said, I'm probably going to take a break from doing weekly episodes, but as big news comes up, I'll be posting here. Make sure to check xflnewsroom.com, because if there is latest news, I still will be posting there. You can find me at XFL Newsroom on Facebook and Twitter. You can find my homie J-Dash at XFLNR Unhinged on Twitter. I don't know, Facebook. You on Facebook there? Not just Twitter. Sign them up. We're having a good time. Thanks for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that garbage. And until next time, sign you up. All right, guys. Have a good one.